It's pretty awesome. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to say to people, like, when people would say, oh, my dad can beat up your dad, I'd be like, no, but really, my dad can.
In 2026, Shannon Lee stands at the forefront of one of the most recognized legacies in modern cultural history. As the daughter of Bruce Lee, she carries the responsibility of preserving his philosophy, image, and intellectual property. Beyond family ties, she leads the efforts that shape how new generations understand his impact. Her role is not symbolic. It is active, strategic, and deeply personal. But protecting a legend in a rapidly changing world comes with challenges few truly see: inherited shadows and rising responsibility. From the moment Shannon Lee entered the world in 1969, her life was inseparably linked to the meteoric rise of her father, Bruce Lee. By that time, Bruce was already transforming from a martial arts instructor into a global film icon, destined to redefine action cinema and inspire millions. But his sudden death in 1973, when Shannon was only 4, left a void that reshaped her childhood and cast an enduring shadow over her family. The tragedy was personal, yet it also thrust her into the public eye as the heir to a cultural phenomenon. Shannon's early years were a delicate balance of private mourning and public expectation. Her mother, Linda Lee Cadwell, sought to provide normalcy while shielding her children from the relentless media gaze. Growing up largely out of Hollywood's spotlight after moving back to Los Angeles in 1974, Shannon developed a keen awareness of how her father's image was both celebrated and sensationalized. Family stories and rare film footage were her windows to the man behind the legend, yet she quickly realized that the world often preferred myth over reality. Navigating this duality, honoring her father while resisting exploitation, became central to Shannon's identity. She confronted a complex dilemma: how to respect a public icon without losing herself in the process. Early on, she began to explore martial arts, creative expression, and personal growth, not as a means of inheritance, but as tools to forge her own path within the weight of expectation. Her connection with her brother, Brandon Lee, deepened this understanding of legacy and loss. Brandon's pursuit of acting mirrored their father's career, but his untimely death in 1993 on a film set underscored how fleeting fame and life could be. For Shannon, these twin experiences of inherited prominence and personal tragedy heightened the responsibility she carried, not just to her family, but to the truth of her father's philosophy and achievements. Shannon also grew up straddling two worlds. American and Chinese cultural influences shaped her identity, offering her both perspective and purpose. This bicultural foundation informed her sense of responsibility, teaching her that Bruce Lee's legacy extended beyond stunts and cinema. It was also about cultural understanding, discipline, and self-expression. Under her mother's careful guidance, Shannon cultivated inner strength, learning to navigate grief, fame, and the ongoing public fascination with Bruce Lee. She understood early that inheriting a legacy was not passive. It demanded vigilance, discernment, and an unwavering commitment to authenticity. These formative experiences set the stage for Shannon's deliberate immersion in martial arts, a journey that would define her as more than just the daughter of a legend. Through discipline, focus, and personal exploration, she began transforming inherited shadows into a path of her own making, a journey that would eventually extend into education, creative work, and stewardship of her father's philosophy. Shannon Lee stepped beyond the shadow of inheritance, diving into martial arts as a path to personal mastery and a deeper connection to her father's teachings, an active journey that would define her on her own terms. Crafting her own way in martial arts became more than a family legacy for Shannon Lee. It was a discipline through which she could connect to her father while forging her own identity. From the start, her training was not about fame or symbolic gestures. Instead, it was a committed, methodical pursuit of skill, philosophy, and personal growth. Shannon immersed herself in multiple martial arts styles, each shaping her technique, understanding, and connection to Bruce Lee's revolutionary approach. Her earliest and most defining training was in Jeet Kune Do, the martial art her father developed. Guided by Richard Bustillo, one of Bruce Lee's original students, Shannon accessed a direct lineage to her father's teachings. These lessons went beyond choreography. They offered a lived connection to the philosophy behind the movements, emphasizing efficiency, adaptability, and personal expression. This training became her first bridge from legend to lived reality. Later, she expanded her practice under other masters. Ted Wong refined her Jeet Kune Do techniques. Dung Do Lan strengthened her Taekwondo skills. Eric Chen deepened her understanding of traditional Chinese wushu. And Benny the Jet Urides introduced her to the intensity of kickboxing. Each discipline added layers to her mastery, from precision and athleticism to endurance and combat authenticity. Through these years, Shannon developed a martial arts identity separate from her father's shadow. Every session, every drill, and every disciplined repetition became a testament to her personal commitment. Martial arts taught her focus, resilience, and confidence, qualities that would extend far beyond physical performance. Importantly, this rigorous practice allowed Shannon to internalize the values her father championed: adaptability, presence, and continuous growth. Her skills were not merely performative, they became a foundation for leadership, creativity, and personal transformation. By combining philosophy with practice, Shannon's martial arts journey created a platform for broader exploration. She began to understand that mastery of body and mind could open doors into education, performance, and storytelling. The discipline she honed would soon translate into her next pursuit, developing her artistic voice and shaping her creative identity. Martial arts had given Shannon not only skill, but perspective, a way to honor her father while stepping into her own narrative. This foundation of focus and personal mastery prepared her for a new chapter, pursuing higher education and artistic growth, a journey that would allow her to merge heritage with her individual vision, shaping an artistic identity. Education became a transformative arena for Shannon Lee, one where she could forge her identity beyond the looming shadow of her father's fame. In 1987, she enrolled at Tulane University in New Orleans, a city bursting with music, theater, and vibrant cultural life, a sharp contrast to Hollywood's glare or the martial arts spotlight that had long defined her family history. At Tulane, Shannon pursued a Bachelor of Fine Arts in vocal performance, dedicating herself to mastering music, stagecraft, and performance. The program demanded precision, discipline, and emotional depth, qualities she had already cultivated in martial arts but now applied to artistic expression. Through musicals, operas, and live concerts, Shannon honed her technical abilities while also learning to connect with audiences in meaningful ways. Every performance became a lesson in presence, timing, and authenticity. Her experiences on stage went beyond artistic training. Shannon learned collaboration, resilience, and emotional nuance, skills that mirrored the mental and physical discipline she had cultivated in martial arts. She discovered the power of storytelling and the ways in which expression could move and influence others. The stage became a space where she could explore her individuality, experiment creatively, and grow confident in her own voice. Tulane also offered Shannon something rare: distance. Away from the constant comparisons to Bruce Lee, she found autonomy to define her passions and shape her path. These years allowed her to explore personal interests, develop critical thinking, and cultivate a sense of independence. She learned to balance reverence for her father's legacy with her own desires, discovering that honoring history and pursuing personal growth were not mutually exclusive. By the time Shannon graduated, she had built a foundation that combined discipline, artistry, and emotional intelligence. This fusion equipped her for the multifaceted demands of the entertainment industry, preparing her to step into acting and eventually producing with confidence and vision. The skills she developed at Tulane, stage presence, collaborative artistry, and expressive storytelling, would soon translate into the screen, allowing her to shape narratives that respected Bruce Lee's philosophy while reflecting her own creativity. Stepping into film, Shannon Lee was no longer only a daughter preserving a legendary name. She was a storyteller in her own right, an artist capable of blending physical prowess with emotional depth, ready to take her first steps toward influencing her father's legacy from both in front of and behind the camera. Her journey from student to performer was just the beginning of a transformation that would lead her to take control of Bruce Lee's narrative. an evolution that would set the stage for her next chapter as a producer, stepping behind the camera. Building on years of martial arts mastery and artistic exploration, Shannon Lee stepped into the world of acting with purpose. Her first on-screen appearance in 1993's Dragon, the Bruce Lee story was deeply personal, coinciding with the heartbreak of losing her brother, Brandon Lee. Rather than chasing fame, this moment allowed her to honor her family's legacy while processing grief and connecting to her father's story in a tangible way. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, Shannon appeared in supporting roles across films like High Voltage, Enter the Eagles, and a cameo in Blade. These roles let her blend martial arts skill with performance, but she quickly realized that acting alone could not fully convey her creative vision or the depth of her father's philosophy. Seeking to grow beyond action sequences, she explored smaller, character-driven films such as She, Me and Her. These experiences refined her emotional range, storytelling instincts, and on-set collaboration skills. Yet, despite these accomplishments, she often confronted the persistent label of Bruce Lee's daughter, a title that underscored her lineage but limited her personal narrative. This realization sparked a shift. To truly honor her father's legacy, Shannon needed to step behind the camera and take control of the stories being told. By the mid-2000s, producing became her new calling. Acting would remain a tool, but production allowed her to shape narratives with precision, protecting the integrity of her father's life and philosophy. Her final acting role came in 2012's Tekken Reload, a short blending martial arts and gaming culture. Exiting the screen on her own terms, she embraced the challenge of creative stewardship. Her behind-the-camera journey reached a milestone in 2008 with the Chinese television series Li Xiaolong Chuani, The Legend of Bruce Lee. Spanning 50 episodes, the series traced Bruce Lee's life from Hong Kong to Hollywood. Shannon's hands-on involvement ensured the story honored historical accuracy, cultural depth, and philosophical nuance. This project demanded creativity, diligence, and intimate understanding of her father's teachings, reinforcing her role not just as a caretaker of memory, but as an active guardian of legacy. With each production, Shannon sharpened her skills in leadership, storytelling, and cultural interpretation, laying the groundwork for an even more ambitious endeavor. Resurrecting a long-lost vision her father never had the chance to complete, a project that would bridge past and present in ways audiences had only imagined. Resurrecting Bruce Lee's dream. The year 2016 marked a pivotal moment in Shannon Lee's journey. She stepped into the role of executive producer for Warrior, a martial arts crime drama originally conceived by her father decades earlier. Rediscovered among Bruce Lee's handwritten notes, the show revealed a long-forgotten vision, a blueprint for storytelling that had never been realized. For Shannon, this was more than production. It was an opportunity to breathe life into her father's unfinished dream. Set in 1870s San Francisco, Warrior delves into the turbulent Tong Wars, blending history, action, and cultural identity. Under Shannon's careful guidance, the series balanced breathtaking fight sequences with complex social narratives, reflecting the very values her father championed: resilience, discipline, and self-expression. Every episode became a bridge between Bruce Lee's philosophical ideals and modern storytelling, inviting audiences to experience his vision in a fresh, immersive way. The journey from concept to screen was arduous. Shannon navigated multiple stages of production, collaborating with directors, writers, and cultural consultants to ensure the series honored authenticity while remaining compelling to contemporary viewers. Her intimate understanding of martial arts and Bruce Lee's teachings informed every choice, from choreography to character development. When Warrior premiered in 2019, it quickly gained acclaim for its dynamic fight sequences and nuanced depiction of identity, justice, and cultural conflict. Its popularity eventually led to a move from Cinemax to Max, with a third season released in 2023, solidifying its status as the most successful posthumous adaptation of Bruce Lee's work. Through this project, Shannon shifted from memory keeper to visionary creator, proving that her father's legacy could evolve without losing its essence. Warrior became a living testament to both Bruce Lee's philosophy and Shannon's ability to transform personal history into cultural relevance. Yet even as the series flourished, Shannon's journey extended beyond the studio. Her family history, marked by personal loss, tragedy, and responsibility, continued to shape her path, guiding her advocacy, leadership, and dedication to safety and social impact in the world her father inspired. Strength through loss and advocacy. Tragedy has been a defining force in Shannon Lee's life. The sudden death of her brother Brandon in 1993 on the set of The Crow left a lasting scar. A preventable accident involving a prop gun took him too soon, exposing the fatal risks actors and crew face behind the scenes. For Shannon, grief became a catalyst, fueling her determination to prevent future tragedies. Her advocacy took on new urgency as the film industry continued to struggle with safety standards. When the 2021 Rust shooting claimed cinematographer Helena Hutchins' life, Shannon spoke out, highlighting the decades-long failure to protect those on set. She has consistently called for mandatory firearm safety training and stricter regulations, insisting that modern filmmaking technology, like digital effects and replicas, can deliver realism without endangering lives. Shannon's activism is rooted in both personal pain and her father's teachings. The loss of Brandon reinforced lessons Bruce Lee instilled: resilience, presence, and adaptability. She channels these principles into campaigns that bridge her family history with contemporary concerns, turning personal grief into public service. Yet advocacy is only one side of her stewardship. Shannon continues to honor Bruce Lee's philosophy in everything she does, blending personal, professional, and cultural responsibilities. Her leadership extends from the studio to the public stage, connecting martial arts, storytelling, and education with lessons learned from both triumph and tragedy. The path from personal loss to public action underscores Shannon's unique role, not just as a daughter preserving a father's memory, but as a guardian shaping the world in his image. The experiences of grief, resilience, and activism all converge to inform the next stage of her journey, taking the helm of the Bruce Lee Foundation, where legacy, leadership, and cultural impact intersect. As Shannon steps into this pivotal role, she faces the challenge of transforming history into a living, breathing force for the future, the keeper of a global icon. At the heart of Shannon Lee's mission is her role as the custodian of her father's legacy. As CEO of the Bruce Lee family company, she oversees everything from intellectual property to media projects, ensuring Bruce Lee's name and philosophy are preserved with authenticity. The responsibility is immense, balancing respect for history with relevance for today's audiences. Shannon's leadership blends careful stewardship with innovation. She works alongside her mother, Linda Lee Cadwell, who remains a guiding presence and trusted advisor. Together, they navigate the delicate line between honoring the past and expanding Bruce Lee's influence into new creative and educational ventures. Beyond business, Shannon leads the Bruce Lee Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to education, personal development, and martial arts philosophy. Programs like Camp Bruce Lee empower young people, fostering confidence, mindfulness, and resilience, while introducing them to the values her father championed: adaptability, self-expression, and discipline. These initiatives extend across continents, reflecting Shannon's commitment to making Bruce Lee's teachings accessible to diverse communities. Her work requires constant adaptation. Preserving a cultural icon demands innovative approaches, whether through digital media, global programming, or educational outreach, without diluting the essence of what made Bruce Lee influential. Shannon sees this as a lifelong responsibility, one that intertwines family, culture, and societal impact. While she honors her father's memory, Shannon also ensures the legacy evolves. She understands that a legend isn't static. It must grow, inspire, and empower future generations. This vision naturally leads to her personal life and the next chapter, nurturing her own family while passing forward the values that shaped her. Her stewardship is more than management. It's living the philosophy, safeguarding history, and inspiring what comes next: family, legacy, and the next generation. Beyond her global work, Shannon Lee has always prioritized family. In 1994, she married Ian Kiesler, choosing a life partner outside Hollywood's spotlight. Together, they have cultivated a private, grounded home that shields their family from the constant glare of fame. For Shannon, creating normalcy for her loved ones is as vital as safeguarding her father's legacy. Their daughter, Ren Lee Kiesler, born in 2003, carries forward both family tradition and a personal sense of identity. Shannon has been intentional in guiding her upbringing, emphasizing education, emotional connection, and independence over public expectation or celebrity. She believes that a strong foundation at home ensures Ren can navigate life confidently, inspired by values rather than fame. Ren's growth reflects Shannon's dedication to balance, blending respect for Bruce Lee's philosophy with modern parenting. Their shared bond extends to education, with Ren following in her mother's footsteps at Tulane University, linking 3 generations of Lee women through learning, independence, and creative exploration. Even in public moments, Shannon carefully curates what she shares. A heartfelt tribute on Bruce Lee's official YouTube channel for what would have been his 80th birthday in 2020 showcased Shannon, Ren, and Linda Lee Cadwell together. A rare glimpse of 3 generations united by love, heritage, and shared purpose. This emphasis on privacy underscores Shannon's determination to protect her family while honoring the broader Lee legacy. She demonstrates that stewardship extends beyond media and foundations. It includes raising the next generation with grounded values and a clear sense of self. Through this delicate balance of public duty and private life, Shannon ensures that the Lee legacy is not only preserved but lived, continuing to inspire, educate, and empower both globally and within the family. Shannon Lee proves that carrying a legendary legacy takes courage, vision, and heart. From loss to triumph, she stands as the last guardian of a legend. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.